What's up, everybody? This is our NFL Week 5 instant reaction. My name is Logan. With me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
What up?
At the end of this episode, we're going to give you our best bet from Monday Night Football tomorrow. We do already have a play on it that we gave out on episode 198 of the Big Easy Bets podcast. But what we're doing here is what we've done the last 2 weeks. We're just going to go through game by game, give you our thoughts. It's a funky start to the year. No clear-cut favorite. We were touching on it last week on who we would name as the favorite. We both kind of agreed, the 49ers. The 49ers lost to the Cardinals this week.
Yep.
We're seeing all the top teams go down. We'll start it off from the top, though. Thursday night, the Buccaneers and the Falcons, the NFC South divisional matchup. It was an incredible game, for one. We kind of felt like this was pretty even across the board. I feel like the game obviously indicated that, going to overtime. A little bit of misfortune from the Falcons, and then fortune to kind of get a chance to send it to OT, and then you're at the mercy of the coin toss. And Kirk Cousins, 42 of 58, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, crazy.
Yet he still doesn't really strike fear into me. Is that
either.
Crazy?
I mean, I think we thought the Bucs defense in the secondary would have problems, and they did. But I was surprised the Falcons weren't able to run the ball a little bit better here.
Yeah, and they also have issues. Levante David's aging, but KJ Britt is bad. KJ Britt is not good as a coverage linebacker, and they were picking him apart over the center of the field throughout the entire night. Drake London had his coming out party, 12 catches, 154 yards, and a touchdown. I think he got hurt towards the end of that game, but a fantastic game from him. Baker looks good. Don't get me wrong. Baker's playing better than I thought he would. He got a bad shake in Cleveland. We've touched on it a couple times now. They cast him aside very, very quickly. So you got to be happy for him. The guy does win. You saw him in L.A. He was with the Rams for a cup of coffee and had a game-winning drive. I was on the right side of that. But yeah, we felt like this was a pretty tight-knit NFC South matchup. It went pretty much as expected. It's anybody's race in the division. Obviously, the Saints play tomorrow, so we'll see if we can kind of jump into the driver's seat. It would be a big win over the Chiefs. But so then you had the Thursday night game. We had early Saturday morning in London, the Jets and the Vikings. The Vikings win 23-17, but not in dominant fashion. They started off well, and then Aaron Jones got hurt, and then things kind of went south for the Vikings in terms of offensively. They scored 6 points in the second half. The Jets have a tremendous problem on the offensive side of the football. They have a problem on the defensive side, but they also have a problem on the offensive side. And I would say that defensively, this team has kind of snapped out of it a little bit. An asterisk last week, you give up 10 points to the Broncos, but it's in the rain and it's against Bo Nix. They were off to a tough start to begin this game, but then they buckled in and started stopping the run, made Darnold work a lot harder. Aaron Rodgers is not that good anymore.
Yeah, I think the Jets' offense in totality is
broken,
struggling. Like the play calling lacks creativity. They aren't able to establish the run. They only ran it 14 times in the game, amounting for 36 yards. So
yeah, they can't decide. Braylon Allen's played very well. He's very effective and efficient when he gets the ball. Breece Hall is still your number one option, especially with what they're trying to do on the offensive side of the ball. Breece Hall's ability to catch the ball out of the backfield gives you another weapon that you need on the field. I don't know what the snap count was, but it had to be pretty close to 50-50, if not in favor of Allen. They had him on a lot more than I thought they should have. Aaron Rodgers is just making bad decisions. He is. And this is a team that's made its way defensively the last few years. The defense is not as good as what we've been accustomed to. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, you need Aaron Rodgers to move the chains for you, make the right decisions. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. You rely on the defense and a good running game, and the recipe's there for the Jets to have success. The problem is Aaron Rodgers threw 3 horrific interceptions. One of them was a pick six. It was a great play by Van Winkle or whatever the fuck his last name is. But still a bad ball. The second one was worse. That was the worst one he threw, the massive overthrow. And then you just throw it up to Mike Williams down the right sideline, hoping for him to come back to it. And it's a lot of – it looks like they haven't practiced. It looks like nobody's on the same page. His favorite target's Allen Lazard, who's not very good. Their best players, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, which he's thrown it to Garrett Wilson a lot, 13 times, 13 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown. But there's just not much creativity on the offensive side of the ball. The offensive line's bad, and he's not as mobile as he used to be, obviously. So what's the ceiling for the Jets team?
I don't know. They have a lot to figure out, and it starts with the play calling because they can't run it, and then they aren't creating any explosive plays either. So they're kind of just dependent on Rodgers to kind of dink and donk downfield, but then if they get behind the chains, they're screwed. So
yeah, the entire offensive philosophy I do not agree with. Saleh doesn't like Rodgers. Rodgers doesn't like Saleh. That's pretty clear. They're throwing shots at each other in the press conferences. Saleh looks like he's in over his head. I don't think he's a very good coach. I don't know. The Vikings are 5-0, but I don't think the Vikings are that great. They're better than I thought, but this was a game that the Jets had ample opportunities to win. It was a poor performance from the Jets. So both teams, 250 yards on offense, pretty even time of possession. But when you turn it over 3 times and you give them a touchdown on one of those turnovers, that's going to be the difference. But only 36 yards rushing, it's like it's not sustainable. As a guy who has Breece Hall on his fantasy team, I want to see you start handing him the ball. I have Braylon Allen too. So let's get behind the run game here a little bit. We'll go to the Colts and the Jaguars. We touched on it on episode 198 of the podcast. I said this was the spot for the Jaguars, and it was. This was a game that the Jaguars should have won by double digits. They win by 3 because this team just tries to find ways to lose games.
It was wild.
Unbelievable. They gave up 24 of the 34 points that the Colts scored. They gave 24 of them up in the fourth quarter. Trevor Lawrence is the guy that he has arm talent. He can make all the throws a pretty deep ball, but the problem is it has to be the first read. I was watching him, and I'm like, what's the problem? Because it's like he looks the part. And I was watching intently, and I'm just like, the problem is when he looks and he goes, that's not there, and immediately he's like, oh, fuck. I have no idea what I'm going to do now. And he scans the rest of the field, and it's like all hell breaks loose. I truly think he just can't process the defense.
Yeah.
It's got to be a one read. Right? He can make the throw, but when he's got to think about the next option, it goes to shit. And it's crazy. He's the worst quarterback in the fourth quarter by far. Tank Bigsby had an incredible game. Couple runs that were Marshawn Lynch-like. Brian Thomas Jr., 5 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown, carrying on the tradition of LSU wide receivers in the NFL. And he had another one, too, that had a chance. I don't know. The Jaguars suck, but I felt like this was the spot for him. Joe Flacco, the numbers, it was 2 deep balls, 2 busted coverage deep balls that really helped him out. He started out, the scripted plays went beautifully. Opening drive, touchdown, they marched right down like it was nothing. But then when the script was out, then things got a little bit more difficult. Josh Allen Hines started teeing off on him, and they were getting – Trevon Walker had a good game. They were getting to the quarterback. The Jaguars have talent. They don't have good coaching. They have subpar quarterback play that they're paying like he's a top-notch quarterback in the league. But Joe Flacco, 33 of 44, 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. He will just wake up, and he's still better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
He should still be on the Browns. They should have literally got rid of Deshaun Watson and said, we're now focusing the franchise around Joe Flacco, who is 40 years old, basically. 39 years old, about to be 40. He can still play. It's crazy. I don't know that he can play over the full course of the season, but okay, Dolphins and Patriots, 15-10 win for the Dolphins, which is just goes to show you how bad the Patriots are. 18-34, 160 yards passing for Jacoby Brissett. That's it. No touchdowns, no picks. Tyler Huntley, 18-31, 191 yards and an interception and a win. I don't know. I don't have much on this. These are 2 of the worst teams in the league. Obviously, the Dolphins are injury-riddled. Achane got hurt with a concussion, but the Patriots absolutely stink. But for what we saw the Dolphins do last Monday, for the Patriots to come out and lose to them, it's not good. It's not good for Gerard Mayo in his first season there.
Yeah, when are they gonna get rid of go to the backup over there?
Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are wondering that. morons are messaging on YouTube.
Oh.
I posted the video because the Packers were my lock of the week on episode 198. They covered. He said, you won 24-19. Green Bay covers the 3.5 by 1.5. A bit close for a lock, but it's the NFL. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works, buddy.
It won. Browns and the Commanders. Let's talk about it because you have what everybody thought could have been, and then you have what appears to be possibly the future. And he did hit his first bit of adversity in the start of this game. He threw an interception, 14-25, 238 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, but 11 carries, 82 yards to go with it. Jaden Daniels is good. This was the spot that I felt wasn't confident enough to take it. I think the Browns' offense is horrific. Deshaun Watson sucks. But this was the spot that seemed trappy, in my opinion. Laying 3.5 against this Browns defense. The Browns didn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter. 34-13 win for the Commanders. First off, are the Commanders the best team in the NFC East?
I don't know. I think if they were playing a better offense, this game would have been a little bit different. But, yeah, Daniels is incredible. Just the way he can.
434 yards of offense, 8-17 on third down.
Really, the way, yeah. The third down, he's so hard to stop because of his ability to run.
But the accuracy is fantastic, too. So, it's like the perfect combo. It's the perfect combo because he is electric on the feet. He's very tough to get to, very elusive, but he makes really good decisions. The Browns were 1 of 13 on third down. I was watching a little bit of this, going back and forth. Deshaun Watson sucks.
Yeah, he's he's the worst quarterback in the league.
He might be. He really might be.
He was sacked 7 times.
And there is so many where he just holds on to the football.
It's like I don't get it. I don't get what he's trying to do.
And there was one where he rolled out to his left and could have scrambled, but then I think he thought and he was like, I told him I'm not a running back. And he turned around and got fucking smoked. Bad. And I know he's just there was a moment apparently where Stefanski wanted to go for it on fourth down and Watson just walked off the field. Did you see that?
No.
It was fourth down. They had to spend a timeout. I think they just ate it, took the delay of game and kicked the field goal. But Stefanski was trying to call in the play, and then Watson's walking off the field, and you see Stefanski throw his hands up. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if they end up benching him pretty soon because if I was the opposing defense, I'd blitz him every time because if he's blitzed, he's not going to throw it. He's not going to get the ball out quick. He's just not in his nature.
No, and I see Emmanuel Acho defending him. He's now gone on a week-by-week basis where he posts a good throw, and he's how his receivers hate him. How are you not catching this? How are you dropping that? His receivers must hate him. It's one, his receivers definitely hate him. The entire roster hates him, guaranteed. But two, it's every time it's one throw. It's he should be making a lot of throws. You shouldn't be making one video of one throw that he made that was good. And it was great coverage by the DB. He got his hand pretty damn close to the ball. It made it a tough catch. Could have been caught, but wasn't. But wouldn't have mattered because he was 15-28, 125 yards and a touchdown. 125 yards. How, dude? It doesn't make any sense. He has 852 yards on the year. That's 24th. His QBR is 20.4. That's 31st. He really is the worst quarterback in the league, and he's getting paid an unbelievable amount of money, fully guaranteed. I tweeted it out. I was it's unprecedented what we're seeing. It's one of these situations where he's horrible. They paid him so much money. He's a fraud. And overnight, everybody, they dislike. He doesn't want to be there. They don't want him there. They're stuck, though. It's crazy. So what? They bench him and then what? What do you do?
I think you bench him in hopes that your team can start winning some football games, and then I don't know where you go from there.
Do you try to trade him? Nobody's taking him.
No.
Nobody's taking him. So what is this, a Bobby Bonilla with the Mets where they're just going to pay him for the rest of his life?
I don't know how you can argue that they shouldn't bench him.
Yeah, no, he's hurting the team. He's not giving them the
any other quarterback in the league, with the exception of maybe the Dolphins quarterbacks, would give you a better shot of winning football games here.
Yeah, even Brissett. with the Patriots. I would take Brissett over Deshaun Watson. But, no, you put Jameis in, you're going to see a spark. It doesn't mean they're going to be great and they're going to win necessarily, but there's going to be an increase in terms of, like, morale. Everybody's going to be a little more amped up for sure. I don't know. You got a tremendous problem. If you're a Browns fan, I cannot even fathom being a Browns fan. I talked about the Saints not having light at the end of the tunnel. The Browns there's no tunnel. There's nothing. You're just in the abyss. You're going nowhere. Bills and Texans. Texans get the win on the home field, 23-20. Another bad start for Buffalo. They go down 17-3. They claw their way back in. Tale of two halves, just like what we saw the last few games from them. Josh Allen, 9 of 30, 131 yards and a touchdown. You lose Khalil Shakir, and all of a sudden the offense goes to shit. They need Khalil Shakir back so bad, and Josh Allen knows it. Keon Coleman led the way, 1 catch, 49 yards and a touchdown. I think he stepped out.
He was super close.
James Cook, though, 20 carries, 82 yards and a touchdown. I don't know what to think of the Bills. I bet the Bills to win the Super Bowl after the first game. I was like, okay, they're better. There was questions that I needed answered. I typically will jump the gun or at least look for one to place early on. I'm not saying I don't think the Bills have a chance, but they have shown they need something. I don't know what they need. They need something, though. What do you think they're missing? A clear-cut number one wide receiver?
Yeah, I think I don't know. Allen played poorly. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. And then, like, I kind of expected it a little bit. That's why we were on the Ravens last week. Just the way their offense operates, it's just I don't think it's that sustainable getting the ball on the outside. It's like if you're playing an attacking defense, then it's hard. And then without Shakir in this one, it's like he's their main go-to guy on those types of plays. So
best receiver they have by far.
Hopefully they can get him back.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be back. Yeah, he's got to come back. He's got to come back. He came back into that game.
But I don't know. The Bills' defense isn't
I don't think it's that bad.
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, they did give up a good amount of yards in this one.
A lot of it came on the one blown coverage deep ball to Nico Collins.
Yeah.
They did a good, like, bend, don't break, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Texans had 425 yards of offense, 8 of 16 on third down, but they were holding them. Houston, really, if you look at it, they didn't score a touchdown other than the first quarter. It was field goals the rest of the way. So they got back into this game because of their defense. The sky is not falling for the Bills. There's some stuff that they got to figure out.
The good thing for the Bills is their division. Everyone else is in complete shambles. So the Bills are
gonna
looking
get
like
in.
the best team in their division.
Yeah, you just got to get to the postseason, and then when you got a guy like Josh Allen, anything can happen. We'll see. But the Texans, though, 4-1, 3-0 at home. This was a good win. This was still. It wasn't a dominant, like, oh my goodness, they shocked everybody and with how they played type of win. But the Bills are a good team. This was a good win. This was a good game. I don't know. We'll see. Bears get the 36-10 win over the Panthers. The offense for the Bears finally kind of woke up. It's a good team to kind of get on track with.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, 20 of 29, 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore, 5 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift was looking like he was just absent for the entirety of the start of the season. Last 2 games, he's come alive. This game, he had 21 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. So the Bears have weapons, and the Bears have a good defense. Bryce Young got in this game. And immediately threw a dart down the right sideline. I was like, oh, my God, he's taking his job back. And then he almost threw 2 interceptions. But one was tipped. But, yeah, I don't have much on this.
Yeah, the good thing for the Bears, but speak of that division's kind of really strong.
Oh, yeah, Lions, Packers.
Minnesota and the Bears.
Yeah, and the Vikings, yeah.
So the Bears' defense is really good, and then they have tons of weapons on offense. It's really going to come down to their offensive line play.
That, and then, and Caleb Williams is going to get more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
And he's going to get, even if the offensive line play doesn't improve, it's going to have to improve if they're going to do anything, if they're going to make the postseason. With the strength of their division, I would bet that they're not going to make the postseason or do anything like that. Not this year. But he's going to get more accustomed to the poor offensive line play and kind of speed up his clock and all of that, and know to get the – dude, his ability to avoid sacks is next level.
Yeah.
It is crazy. He had a couple where I'm like, he's just running around in circles, breaking tackles, and it is impressive. He's very elusive. He can extend plays. That's that Patrick Mahomes trait that they kept wanting to compare. He is able to do that, and he's going to have to with the offensive line that they have. But he's gonna be a lot better off just getting the ball to his weapons, because they do have a lot of receivers that can make something happen. And then if Swift is going to play like he's been playing the last couple games, they'll be in business. Let's see, who do they play next week? Just out of curiosity. Jaguars. Commanders the following week, though. Little 1 versus 2. Jaguars in London, though. They have they got a good chance. That's probably a you should win type of game against the Jags. They could be looking at 4-2 going to play the Commanders.
Yeah.
Then you got the Cardinals after. They got winnable games. Raiders and Broncos, same thing. I don't have much. We were talking about it a little bit. The Raiders were up 10-0 with a chance to go in and get another touchdown, and then they threw a pick six. Pat Surtain took it 100 yards to the house, and then the sky kind of fell after that. Broncos win 34-18. Bo Nix, 2 touchdowns, 19 of 27, 206 yards.
Yeah.
Bo Nix still sucks. I don't care what anybody says. Him and Sean Payton were yelling at each other on the sidelines. You saw that?
No.
Bo Nix wanted to go for it on 4th down. I think Sean Payton said no. I think that's what the situation was, and he was like fucking screaming at Sean Payton. It was kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, why don't you trust me?
Yeah, it's why do you think? All right, Cardinals and 49ers. The Cardinals get the 24-23 win. The 49ers didn't score a point in the second half. They were up 23-10. You get 14 points unanswered from the Cardinals in the second half to win 24-23. Brock Purdy, 19-35, 244 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. They need Christian McCaffrey back badly. What do you do? Both interceptions from Brock Purdy in the second half.
Yeah, the 49ers would have won this game, but Jake Moody got knocked out of this game.
Yeah, it looked like
on a kickoff.
Yes, I would imagine if I had to speculate, he probably either broke his ankle or tore something in his ankle, but it's 1,000% his right foot.
But yeah, there was a sequence of events in the second half where the 49ers were in typical field goal range, and instead they opted to go for it on 4th and 23.
Oh my God! I saw Juszczyk was taking a.
Yeah, he held one, but that was a super close field goal right before halftime. But yeah, they weren't.
He held one.
He was the holder because
I saw
the punter.
him kicking.
No, the punter usually holds.
Okay, well I saw Juszczyk.
Well, the
kicking
punter
into
had
the
to
net.
turn into the field goal. Yeah, who knows why? Maybe he's the 3rd string kicker.
He was like laughing though as he did it. Yeah, but also the Niners got a blocked field goal touchdown in this too. So the offense is not clicking.
But they were up 13 at halftime, and then
23-10.
They had plenty of opportunities there, and then obviously the situation I'm talking about, they could have kicked a field goal, and the difference in this game was 1 point.
Yep. Yeah, no, yeah, I get what you're saying, but regardless.
And then even there at the end, Brock Purdy, they had another situation where they were in field goal range, but probably not for the punter, and then the ball got tipped for the game-sealing interception.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you'd still like to see a little more, because Mason's not a bad running back.
No.
You would like to see
he fumbled too there.
Oh, did he?
When they were about to score.
Okay, so it was a combination of multiple things.
Yeah.
Still though, I don't feel that they're battling all the injuries, and they've got people trickling back into the lineup and all of that. I just don't think they've looked as sharp as they should.
Yeah, definitely not.
Packers and Rams. Packers get the 24-19 win. I was very happy that the way this game played out. But the Rams are just decimated by injuries. The Packers they'll leave you scratching your head. They are a tale of two halves as well. I don't know what to make of Jordan Love, because Jordan Love makes some poor decisions. Jordan Love made the worst decision of the week when he did not see the guy blitzing off the edge as he's standing into the end zone, rolling out to his right, and then just decides to stop, takes the hit, almost breaks the tackle, and then as he's going down, chucks the ball directly to the defender for a 6-yard pick six. Really, really bad decision. This game would look a whole lot different. I don't know. I still think the Packers are very good. I think the Packers are one of those. They're going to be better. They've got so much. There's a lot of turmoil going on with Romeo Doubs just not showing up. Remember I told you we were talking about it for fantasy purposes. You said you were thinking about picking up Doubs, and I was like, they don't throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And then now he's like thinking the same thing and not showing up, and he's just not going to go play anymore.
Yeah, he was apparently disgruntled with that and didn't show up to practice, and they suspended him for this game.
Don't blame him. You can't just not show up.
But then, you look at it's just the way their offense works. There's so many. They have a lot of guys at receiver, young talent.
Yes, but I don't know what Jordan Love's deal is with Dontavian Wicks. Dontavian Wicks had the most targets again this week. Dontavian Wicks was targeted 7 times this week. The week before against the Packers, I'm pulling it up right now, Dontavian Wicks was targeted 13 times.
Yeah.
Romeo Doubs was targeted 8, and that's just their offense. They're going to throw the shit out of it. But why is you're targeting him 13 times, he had 5 catches. You targeted him 8 times. What did I just say? 8, he had 2 catches.
Yeah.
Why are we
targets.
peppering fucking Dontavian Wicks with targets?
Yeah, I freaking...
He's got multiple drops, too.
In my other league, I played him, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is a game for Wicks because the Dobbs ain't even playing. And he only got 2 catches.
But he had
There was one, that went through his hands.
Yes, and he had the same thing happen, a huge swing of events that could have possibly won them the game against the Vikings. He had a terrible drop. He drops it at the least opportunistic times. I'm not sure why is he leading? He's got to be leading the team in targets for sure. Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Jaden Reed is fucking incredible. And they use him a lot of different ways, 2 carries. He's going to get a couple end arounds each game. They have him return a punch. Jaden Reed's one of the better football players in the league.
Yeah.
That dude is electric when he gets the ball in open space. His ability to also – he had a bad drop too, don't get me wrong, on a 3rd down, I'm pretty sure. But that first deep ball in triple coverage, he's got very good ball skills, and he's electric when he gets in open space. So I'm not exactly sure the love affair with Dontavian Wicks, but Josh Jacobs did well enough. I thought he would do a little bit better. The Rams struggle to stop the run. So the Rams are one of those, they're like decimated with injuries, and they don't have a ton of talent. They don't have a lot of big name talent, but McVay coaches them to be competitive week in and week out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had the ball twice with a chance to go down and win this game. So their leading receiver was Jordan Whittington from Texas.
Yeah.
So they're doing it with crumbs. But the Packers, I think the Packers would be worth a Super Bowl bet.
Yeah, I bet them before the year.
Yeah, I would not be feeling bad with what I've seen.
I don't know. The odds might be better now, but
with the number of weapons and just the way their offense is, there's so many options. The way they can use Reed, Josh Jacobs running the ball, A.J. Dillon will eventually be back, I'd imagine. I don't know if it was season ending. But when it comes down, when it's cold and you're up there in Green Bay, if they can start pounding you with the run, and then it's going to open up things over the top with all those weapons. Look, they're showing the catch right there.
Yeah.
This team's going to be a problem.
I don't know about A.J. Dillon, but the guy Wilson's not bad.
Yeah, he's
and
not.
Then they drafted the rookie from USC, Marshawn Lloyd, who got injured and hasn't seen any playing time because he's on IR. But you think maybe towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that's it's just a really tough division. But if you're sitting on a Packers futures bet, I would not feel bad about it in the slightest. There's no clear-cut favorite right now.
For them to kind of skate. Did they win both the games when he was out?
Yes.
Yeah, so, for them to That was huge for them.
Yeah, it's like they're it's a much different style of offense, obviously, with Jordan Love under there, but the decisions he's making, that's the one right there. Bad decision. He's got to minimize these.
Yeah, that was a terrible play call, though. Like,
yeah,
immediately when they rolled out, you could see on the TV, you could see a free rusher coming from the backside, and there was no way he was going to be able to see it.
Yeah,
but it's like you're third and 10 though.
Don't stop though.
3rd and 10. It's like at that point, dude, you got to run the ball.
Exactly.
And punt.
Yeah, you're playing to not throw a pick six. The Giants march into Seattle, the team that I said was overrated, not good at 3-0, a fraudulent 3-0. The Giants march in and win 29-20. Daniel Jones, 23 of 34, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns. They did it without Malik Neighbors. Slayton had 8 catches, 122 and a touchdown. The Seahawks got a something scoop and score, 102 yards scoop and score. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, what was that? The Giants might have scored that on that play, but you couldn't really. There wasn't a sideline view of the ball crossing the plane.
Yeah,
but like there was a head-on view, and it kind of looked like it went over before he fumbled, but you couldn't tell for sure. So yeah, that was a scoop and score.
Okay. Yeah, apparently they Bryce Ford Wheaton blocked the kick, returned the block kick 60 yards.
Yeah, the game tying kick.
The Seahawks they're not that good. They're not. And they were never.
Well, their defense isn't,
Well, exactly. But Geno Smith's not that good either, though. He's not bad. He's better than the Geno Smith from the beginning of his career. He rejuvenated his career with Seattle. He's a middle of the pack guy, though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's a middle of the pack. He's not elite. What the fuck was going on with the running game? Why did Geno lead the way?
Yeah.
Where was Kenneth Walker only had 5 carries? Did he get hurt again?
I don't know. I saw him running there at the end, but
Seattle got out early. They had a 7-0 lead going into the second quarter. Why did Kenneth Walker only have 5 carries?
I don't know.
They threw it to him 7 times, though.
He's like one of those running backs that even though he's not running behind a great offensive line, he still makes things happen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know why he only had 5 carries.
Yeah, so that's everything we've seen so far. The Cowboys and Steelers are currently in a weather delay, but I'm sure we'll be getting a kickoff here soon. It is up in the air for sure, which is what you want from a fan and a viewing perspective. There were a couple years there where it was like, okay, it's the Bills, the Bengals, and the Chiefs, and then it's the 49ers and the Cowboys were potentially. But now it's like, it's all up in the air. Obviously, the Chiefs are still going to be the front runner, and then the 49ers are still expected. But the Eagles don't look great. The Cowboys don't look great. A lot of the top-end NFC teams don't look spectacular at all. Is the Bengals season over? It's got to be.
Yeah.
You can't start 0-3 at home, 1-4 on the year.
I can't. They were up by 11 or 10 in that game late, and I can't believe they blew that.
Yeah, I wonder if what's his name, Canty from ESPN is going to come out and say that Joe Burrow just doesn't do enough for the team to win.
Oh yeah,
he said that. He was like, he played fantastic. This was last week. This week, 5 touchdowns, 392 yards, 30 of 39. They want Joe Burrow to do more because they're losing. That's why.
Yeah, the problem, the Bengals' defense isn't as good as it used to be, and then they're decimated in the secondary. It's like that's why they can't hold on to a lead like this.
Are the Ravens the best team in football?
I don't know. Possibly.
They might be.
Yeah.
They might be. They've clearly figured out whatever the hell was wrong with their offensive line. They put up 41 points on the Bengals on the road. Derrick Henry still got juice. That last run. When he turns on the Jets, dude, it's crazy. He can still go. It doesn't really make sense with just how big he is. Everybody kind of just assumed Tennessee was letting him go because he's getting older and the lifespan, the shelf life of an NFL running back is not very long.
You look at all the running backs in that class: Leonard Fournette, Zeke, Dalvin Cook.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
I think was McCaffrey and Kamara in that class?
No,
maybe so.
I think McCaffrey came out before Kamara.
No, they were in the same.
You positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were in it too.
Okay.
Because McCaffrey was a top pick.
Yeah.
Maybe Zeke. Zeke wasn't in. Zeke was 1 year before Leonard Fournette, so he shouldn't have been included in the list.
He was Michael Thomas.
But Dalvin Cook was in that class.
I'm pretty sure Zeke and Michael Thomas were on that Ohio State national championship team. Yeah, no, for Derrick Henry, and they ran him into the ground in Tennessee. It's not like he doesn't have the miles on him. So it's just a testament to his conditioning, I guess, and the work ethic to keep his body in shape, because that was the Titans' offense, was hand the ball to Derrick Henry. And every year, rinse and repeat, he was going 99 yards on the Jaguars down the left sideline. So it's like they were running him into the ground. For him to still have that much juice when he gets out into the open field is impressive at his size. The Ravens, I would say, are probably the best team in the league right now. Lamar's playing great, 26-42, not the best there, but 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. Third down, 10 of 15. There was a lot of offense in this game.
Yeah, it's the Bengals defense, though, too.
Yeah.
We saw what Washington was able to do to them, similar to what
couldn't get a stop. Not literally.
Similar to what happened with the Ravens here.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what. I like that weather for the under. For the under.
I like it for my bet.
Yeah, you should too. Yeah.
Just run.
Yes. That's our breakdown of what we saw in week 5 of the NFL slate. We'll talk Monday night. Saints going on the road to take on the Chiefs. Like I said, we touched on this on episode 198. I'm on the Saints +5. But what we're gonna do for this episode, we're 0-2 last 2 weeks. We took a shot with the Dolphins. I felt like what the Dolphins did this week, they could have done last week. Rally behind the defense and Huntley just kind of get us there. No. It was one of the worst performances that you'll ever see from a team. The Dolphins are a very poorly coached team. Not even just the fact that Tua's hurt. Mike McDaniel's not a very good coach. But that's in the past. We're going to Saints and Chiefs. We're going to switch it up. We're going to go player prop. And we're looking at, I think the number is 208.5. We're looking at Derek Carr over passing yards. So Derek Carr over 208.5 passing yards. This Chiefs defense is good, but this Chiefs defense is susceptible in the pass. L'Jarius Sneed is gone. He's with the Titans. Trent McDuffie is a well-known corner the last couple years. But they leave a little bit to be desired in the secondary, and they've given up yards to the teams that they've played so far this year. So we think there's money to be made with Derek Carr over 208.5 passing yards. It's a little low. It's a team, I'm assuming, I don't know. I think the Saints have proven that they can move the ball. It's once you get down to the red zone, they've been stalling the last couple weeks. We should have beat the Falcons. We should have beat the Eagles. It's the offense looked fantastic to start. The offense has kind of stalled out when it mattered most, but move the ball in between the 20s.
Yeah, I think you look at Carr this year. He had 2 really good games to start and then kind of a poor game against the Eagles. Last week, I thought he played good enough for the Saints to win. They just didn't get it done there at the end. But, I think like you said, the Chiefs have gotten a little bit lucky. They've allowed some teams to move the ball on them. And maybe you can really look at 3 of their wins and say maybe they shouldn't have gotten there.
Oh, yeah. Could go either way. For sure.
With the Falcons, with the Ravens.
Yeah. Chargers.
The Bengals.
The Bengals, definitely. The Chargers were in the game late.
Yeah.
So they played everybody close. They've had 3 games that they've been on the fortunate side of the ball bouncing their way, or the toe bouncing their way. Derek Carr's gone over 208.5 passing yards 2 out of the 4 games, but the first game was a 47-10 blowout over the Panthers. He was 19-23 for 200 yards. If we needed him to in a close game, he would have surely gone over that number. We are expecting this game to be much closer. Obviously, the Saints are underdogs, but this is a winnable game for the Saints with the Chiefs offense hurt. Rashee Rice is out. Hollywood Brown still isn't there. Pacheco's out. This is kind of a decimated Chiefs offense. So this is going to be a very winnable game. I would expect Clint Kubiak's going to kind of scheme some things up in the opening script. I think there's going to be some yards to be had. And then just Chris Olave is one of the better receivers, but then Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield as well. I mean, he can get you yards dumping it down to him, and then all it takes is for him to make a couple people miss, and then he's off to the races. So it just seems low. So we're in agreement. We're going over 208.5 passing yards for Derek Carr as our Monday Night Football prop, and we're going to see if we can make some money. Well, I'm having a great week on a sidebar, so we'll see how tonight goes, and then we'll go from there. We'll be back in the studio on Tuesday to do episode 199, give you all of our best bets for the upcoming college football and next week in the NFL. And then we'll be right back in a week from today to give you our recap of week 6. That's all I got. You got anything?
Nope.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.